Shalom family, not sure if you could hear me too well because my stuff's been acting up. This will be video take number 20 million. No, I'm just kidding. This is video take probably number 6 in the past few days. Things haven't been going according to plan when it comes to these videos. Either it's YouTube, it's me, or it's all of the above. So I wanted to come on here to share a few things with everybody. For one thing, it is time that we start moving towards the things that we've been called to do. Moving towards the kingdom things. If you have a gift and a calling, you gotta go do it. If you are to be led in creating music for the kingdom, for Yahuah's kingdom and his glory, then do it. If you're called to feed the homeless, go do it. If you can do anything that you can encourage other people, I'm asking you to go do it. It is no longer time for us to be lukewarm. It is time for us to be encouraged and to go out there and start living like the one we claim to be following, like Yahuah. Yahuah was big on helping people and healing people and bringing them the good news, and people were changed and transformed. It is time that we start to show that we have faith or emunah by living it. It's not only about talking about the scriptures and talking about stuff. We have to start living that way. We got to practice what we preach, so to speak. I got fed up with sitting idly on the sideline while people are suffering, hungry, starving, needing the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the scriptures, because a lot of watered down gospels being promoted and taught. Anything goes kind of lifestyle, and a lot of new age philosophy has gotten into our understanding. A lot of Babylonian paganism and other religions, they're just starting to merge and they're starting to creep in, and but a lot of people are waking up to the truth, and I think that we should be encouraged by that Yahuah is waking people up daily. Like it's happening quickly. So those who really have the heart for him and those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear are changing quickly. I know people that last year were in the church are out of the church and they're on fire for the kingdom. They're serving people and they're helping and they're doing. There's just a big transformation happening to those who say they truly love him. And then you have the lukewarm people, which we know he said he was going to spit them out. He said either be hot or be cold. And another thing is we cannot be a we cannot be a servant to two masters. We need to either shape up or ship out, because he's refining us. He is literally turning on the fire, turning it up. Turning up the heat, so to speak. He's taking things out of us, purging us from a lot of things that we thought we wanted and things where we thought were important for our lives. But he's like, seek ye first the kingdom and everything else will be added. But then once you get to serve the kingdom people and you start to seek the kingdom in wisdom and in truth, and spirit and in truth, rather, you start to see the things out there that you thought you wanted at one point are no longer valuable. You see that, well, you know what? I don't need that Lexus or that Mercedes. Hey, maybe I don't need that big old mansion on top of, the hill or something like that. Or, all these things that you think you need, you realize you don't need anymore once you start living for the kingdom, living kingdom style. Yahuah didn't even have a place to lay his head, which has so many meanings. But if you want to go literally, he didn't have time to be comfortable and to rest and to stay still. He was always on the go, even though that means something differently. But you can also use it as a reference to help remind us of what a humble servant. He became a servant to us, for us, to serve us, to change us, to have us not be conformed to the things of this world. And yet, here we are, 2018, conformed to the things of this world, living our best fleshly lifestyle and not doing what we're supposed to be doing for him and the kingdom. And I speak for myself because I'm a very passionate person when it comes to doing things for people and getting things done. But for a while, I stopped doing things because I got discouraged. I got frustrated because I would do, for instance, when I had my business location, I would do fundraisers and cancer thing, and I never wanted a dollar for myself. I just needed enough to pay my helpers, whoever helped. Not everybody volunteered their time to help, cut hair and blow dry and all that. So I had to pay them, but a good chunk of it. So it would be like to pay my girls, and then everything else was to send to whatever organization. And then I got discouraged when I found out that there's so many natural healing things for cancer and so many different medical conditions that I got sad. I said, okay, well, we're raising money to come up with a cure, and now it turns out that the cure is within the foods and the lifestyle and all these natural herbs and like just so much. To me, it was very I don't know what the word is right now, but it was depressing for me for a while. So for the last maybe 2 years, I hadn't been doing specific charities and specific things, but in my mind I kept saying, I wish we could come up with a backpack. And when I say we, because it's not just myself, there's many people with these ideas and these thoughts, and they just never know how to put them into practice. I said, if we could come up with a backpack where we can put all kinds of necessities for people that don't have a roof, a dwelling place specifically, like we have our homes and such. And I said, what can we put in them? I said, imagine if they came up with like a sleeping bag, backpack that they can take it everywhere they go, and they can also put their things in it and all that stuff. And at nighttime, they, I always just, my mind just keep going and going. And I looked up, what about if I get wholesale backpacks? Well, who's got the best prices? And I was just doing all this stuff. And one day, a few months ago, I was talking to one of my customers, person I used to go to church with, beautiful person, very sweet. She knows Yahuah and Yahusha because I talked to her about it. She was so happy to receive it. We teared up. We got emotional. We were so thankful to, to have that experience when I was doing her hair a couple weeks ago on a Sunday. And anyway, she said to me, I wanted to do the same thing. And she's like, all you need is a few backpacks. And I think my cousin as well said the same thing. So I had heard it from 2 different people. Like, we don't need an assembly line. We don't need to create the Ford of backpacks for people in need. Just start with, people have backpacks that they're not using. So my cousin had gone out to feed some of the people in Newark a week or 2 before. And I said, you know what? We're going to just take all the backpacks. So she said that when they took the backpacks to the park, this one man came up to her and said, hey, do you have a backpack? I can put all these things that you guys gave me, the water bottle, food, this, that, and the third, clothes, whatever, sneakers, that one of my cousins literally took off his feet and gave to the guy, which was a blessing for him because the guy needed sneakers and he was exactly the right size. He was a size 11, and that's exactly my cousin's shoe size. So he said, can I get a backpack? So my cousin calls me all excited, like, I gotta tell you what happened. I said, what happened? And she's like, da-da-da, and he asked for a backpack. She says, so that made me think that you're thought about getting a backpack for people. It would be amazing because they could put all their stuff in it. So it turns out when we went the weekend afterwards, I had posted it on a few social media outlets, and before you know it, people had backpacks in their home. One family, blessed by them, they sent about 10 backpacks for their children. Like, they didn't need them because every year they were getting a new backpack. The wife, him, they just had all these 10 backpacks we received. and family here and there, friends, other people. We told other people about it. They were bringing clothing. Some people were bringing toiletries. Another family friend of mine, she brought me 2 backpacks and supplies to put into 3 backpacks for guys with deodorant, toothbrush, and stuff like that. So for women, we decided to put in, you know, feminine wipes and things like that. Because, you know, for me, I would think, I know that there's other things that are important, you know, such as a roof over your head and clothes and stuff like that and food. But I also figure it's warm, it's hot. What can they use to kind of wipe down their face if they feel like it, or, you know, get a little mini bath in between, you know, wherever they're going and stuff. But it was funny because this one woman, I had to laugh it off, but we gave her a backpack and she's like, hey, excuse me. And I was like, okay, And she starts pulling out. I'm like, I don't need this. I don't want that. I don't need this. I don't need that. And she's like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, these are feminine wipes. She was like, I'm like, yeah, you know, feminine wipes, bath wipes. And she was like, all right. And so she kept it. But like almost everything that was in the backpack. She's like, I don't need socks. She wasn't wearing any socks. And she was wearing her sneakers with no socks and no shoelaces. And I just laughed it off in a way like I wasn't gonna let that cause me to not keep doing it for other people. And my cousin said he turned around after giving her 4 bottles of water, and because she said, oh, I get very thirsty at night, so instead of just giving her 2 bottles of water, it was a really warm day, it was probably like 100 degrees that day, my cousin's like, I'm gonna give her 4, you know, 2 bottles more, anything you need, you know, if you need anything else, we'll try to get it for you, whatever. So he says, as soon as we get into the car to get ready to leave, after taking care of everybody else that was there, he says, I see her dumping out every single bottle of water. So the moral of this story is that sometimes people are not really there. Or they just don't, I really don't know, but I just don't think that mentally she was there. So, I wasn't going to let that bother me and say, oh, I'm not going to continue doing this because she threw out or she didn't want or she didn't need or whatever, because, you know, it is what it is. You know, if we're going to let that one person discourage you or 2 people, whatever, like, and we almost didn't go out and give certain food because someone had said, I don't believe it should be this and that. And so there was a little disagreement as far as what kind of meat and things we should put in these sandwiches. But we were like, we have 30 sandwiches. What are we going to do with them? And so it kind of got like, we were getting blocked in every different avenue from different things. And we were just like, you know, but that's not the mission. The mission is to go out there. We were praying for people, encouraging them. There was this one gentleman that we met, really nice guy. He was like, oh, I came from Puerto Rico, young guy. I think he was 31. His name was Brian. If anybody wants to pray for Brian. He had come here from Puerto Rico and he's addicted to heroin. And he was honest. He told us, he's like, you know, guys, everything that I'm dealing with is for my own fault because I personally attributed to these things in my life. He wasn't blaming anybody. He was sleeping when my cousin walked up to him and was like, hey, can I get you some water, food, whatever. And then he was such a humble guy. After we prayed for him and stuff like that, we start walking away. And he's like chasing us with the backpack we had left him. He's like, hey, you guys left this behind. And we're like, no, it's for you. So when he realized that it was for him, he was so excited and just happy, just grateful. Not excited, he's not a child, but he was grateful. And the fact that he was so honest with us on his addiction and what he feels, what he's going through, this and this and that. And the fact that also we walk away and he comes running after us to bring us a backpack shows his heart. And I feel that I'm pointing this out because a lot of times people are afraid to go out there and do things for other people that are homeless, let's say, or the needy. And you think that you're going to encounter some awful people out there and you just don't do it because you're afraid or because you don't know what you're going to expect. But here we have good people, or people judge them and they're like, oh, they're losers, or they're this, or they're junkies, and you know, they're in their situation because they want to be in their situation. And it's not that way, and it's not our job to figure out why they're on the streets. The point is, we need to just go take care of our brothers and sisters, you know. And we met a lot of people that day that were just really amazing people. One of them, he was like, you know, my grandchildren, if you can pray for me and my grandchildren and all that. Another one, he had brain cancer a few years before, and you know, he's like, can you pray for my brain and all that? And so we laid hands and we prayed, and we were encouraged to do the work. We talked to them about Yahuah and Yahusha, and they had already had faith, and they said they knew Yahuah, but they didn't know his name and all that. And to me, people are getting tripped up on that, and I think we need to just go out there and just share first, you know, baby steps, and just say, hey, did you know he had a Hebrew name, blah, 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 and share that. But the good news is the good news, and we need to stop tripping on that. We need to go out there and just be a good, you know, be a good person to other people and just encourage them. We got to live that way so that they can see the fruit that we're producing is good fruit. As then people start to change and they start to take notice, and all these people are living differently. All these people are doing this and this and that. Like, whoa. And not because of us, but because they can see who we serve and what he does for his people who love him. Anyway, I don't want to keep going on about that. I just really wanted to come up and do a video, say I'm sorry, one, for delaying my videos, but also that I've been having a hard time posting videos because of YouTube and my not being so tech savvy with editing and posting and all this stuff. And also to go out there and be encouraged, whatever it is that your calling is. That was really the main purpose of me coming out here, to encourage you guys. Just go out there and do whatever it is that the Father is leading you to do, and just go do it, man. Be a light to the nations. Be a light in this world. Don't be a light hidden. Like there's a verse that says, if a candle is lit and put under a table or a chair, like what purpose does it serve to put a light under a table or under a chair hiding? Like, I don't remember word verbatim, but the point is, you can't be hiding your light. Shine that light brightly everywhere you go. Share the good news everywhere you go. If you can pray for someone, you can ask them if they don't feel comfortable with it. Just ask them for their name, and you go home and you pray for them. You intercede for them, just as Yahusha has interceded for us, made a way for us. The same way you go out there and you do that for other people. And some people are saying, no, you only have to, you know, do for our brothers and sisters from the kingdom. And I beg to differ. I think that if you love, you got to love everybody that is in need of some kind of, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's in need of some kind of love and attention and compassion. And there's going to be those people that are going to reject it. But, you know, that way you'll know who the wheat is from the tares. You'll know who's who. And like Yahusha said, dust your feet off, dust your shoulders off, and keep it moving. If people don't welcome you into their homes, if people don't welcome you or receive the message, you just go out there and you keep doing it. You got to grow a thick skin to do so. And don't let everything make you mad or discourage you. Just keep it moving, man. Anyway, love you all. Take care. Shalom.